A lady from she was in Deming, New Mexico when I met. She was from Minnesota. Her name was May Smith. She was like a seventh initiate in Eckankar or whatever and stuff. That was pretty high for women back in the day when they first started Eckankar. She was a real high-ranking initiate. The highest-ranking female initiate was Gail Twitchell, you know, Paul Twitchell's wife, right? And she said, in life, the way you should look at it, she goes, Earl, when you get to a situation, you got to look at it like you got a toolbox. And if all you had was a screwdriver and a hammer, that was the best job you could do with the tools you had in your toolbox. As you get older, it may seem you might pick up a drill, a ratchet, stuff like that, and you could do the jobs more efficiently. But as you start out in building and adding to your toolbox as you get older, you can't tell yourself, well, I would have done it this way if you didn't have the ratchet and the drill in your toolbox. I was like, yeah, that's really intelligent way of looking at things. It was very intelligent. She was a very intelligent woman. My dad liked her a lot. Yes, May. Because my sisters, girls have a tendency to get dramatic and stuff. And mom and dad would have to try to make decisions and the girls would never be happy, okay? What mom and dad used to do with May is bring in May, and May would say, here's the way we should do things, right? And she'd be the heavy. And then the girls couldn't be mad at mom or dad. Okay? And May would always explain, here's why you should do it. Okay. Like when we moved to Phoenix and she'd come into the house, well, here, this one's the oldest. That she would always divide it up into, well, this one does it, and then the youngest will get that for so many years. This person should get the nicest room. They're the oldest, and so forth. Right? That's how she'd do things. She'd just do things through that kind of seniority thing, because it's like, you just moved into this house. This kid's 17. They're going to have this nice room for a year. That one will move. Then the next oldest kid gets it. They get it for a year, and then the other kid is 4 years younger, and then they'll get the nice room for 4 years. For about 4 more years after that. And that's how she was. So you just got to wait your turn, because the time and service stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty smart. She ran it kind of like a seniority thing in the military and stuff. She's pretty shrewd. She's a very shrewd woman. I liked Miss Smith very much. She's a good kiddo. Yeah. She was the one that back during when I was a kid, when I had my second initiation into Eckankar, and I sit there and I talked and I said, this is a generation that's going to change the world. We got Marvin Gaye and What's Going On and Bob Dylan and, the 60s, and we rebelled against government corruption, and we're going to, so we're going to be this great generation, right? And May sat there and told, no, Earl, this generation is going to end up being worse than their parents. The drugs are going to make them desensitized, and they're going to become worse in their racism and their tribalism and stuff than the generations before them. And I thought, there's no way with mass communications in the 20th and 21st century that they're going to end up being worse than the people in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. The Zoot Suit rioters and sure enough, here it is, 2024. Okay, and she was right. But I was also correct that this is the generation that changes it. Okay. But it's not because of the generation. It's because of people been praying for thousands of years, okay, to one person, okay, spirit of one person, spirit of Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John, okay, to be the focal point of faithful human standard of living, okay, the focal point to that. And I didn't understand why. I was like, well, how can one person, okay, change the entire way human beings think, speak, and behave, when human beings can all get together and say, we vote for the biggest titty bar and best little whorehouse in Texas and the biggest titty bars. We vote to all get a big bag of money to fuck Megan Thee Stallion. How can you, okay, as one person, like Jesus Christ and Muhammad doing the right thing, okay, give children the peace of Jesus Christ rather than the big bag of money to fuck the hot rapper girl. How do you do that without being a tyrant? How do you do that without being, no, I don't care what you guys say. It's like a dad, if the kids all say they vote to go to the titty bar to get money to fuck Megan the Stallion, okay. Dad's the authority, right? Dad gets to, no, y'all motherfuckers ain't going to the titty, go get money and steal the neighbor's car to get enough money to go fuck Megan the titty bar porkies. No, it ain't gonna happen. No hustlers around here. I'm your hustler, baby. No hustlers, no debilitating drugs, no credit cards, no unlimited credit, no car shield, no nada, right? Like, why? Well, because 2 and 2 is 4. Life is eternal, grace is infinite. Forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal faithful peace. Okay. Jeffrey Hinton and his friends give us artificial intelligence to save us from irrational human thought processes. And I was talking to Dad about it earlier, and when it comes to mathematics, guys, okay, you're always going to need the death penalty if you use philanthropy as a form of manipulation of people. Okay. Some people you're going to just have to kill. Okay. If you give people fallacy as value and fantasy as reality, okay, as long as that is a narrative in which you engage in, you're always going to need the death penalty to kill the people who need a big bag of money to fuck, or require the big bag of money to fuck, or own the club. Do something to make me smile. Now get the bazooka up and blow up Bernie Mac's, see what I'm saying? Okay. So you guys, it's mathematically perfect in understanding. When you eliminate, okay, the fallacy, all that's left is the reality. Okay. And if there's no philanthropy, there's no prostitute that you need a big bag of money to fuck, and you don't have to kill the other guy for the gold and the diamonds in order to keep that bitch happy, because diamonds are a girl best friend when you go stay with me until the end. Diamonds. Love don't come for free. Love, okay? Love is what you give when you're grateful for life from infinite glory and not the delusions of your mind. Okay? And Daniel Boone doesn't fight to keep all Americans free. Freedom is the faithful love of a perfect, mature father like Job, Jonah, and myself. Okay? If people try to take away that love and you have to fight, okay, you're not fighting to be free. You're fighting to protect yourself from people that are slaves to their own finite delusions and passions in their minds. It's very Buddhist. Yeah, it's very Buddhist understanding. Okay, load this one up. We'll go to the next one. I got some more. I got to go out there and finish doing the sand on the horseshoe pits and the basketball hoop. A little tired, but I took about an hour to just rest and get some food and get some shade. But guys, I implore you. Okay, if you are a celebrity and you watch me anonymously, don't just entertain like Judy said. Get together with all your friends, or just get up and do it now. I can use technology to protect people from technology. Okay, get up, find a way to share my existence, so we can all start living the Lord's Prayer now. Because I'm living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. Okay. Not Pope Francis, not any of the wackadoodles in the Middle East who say, we have a Muslim country. I am Islam. Okay. Living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer is Islam. Okay. Muhammad is Islam. Jesus is Islam. Earl is Islam. There's nobody on TV saying this is a Muslim country or this is a Christian nation that is Christ or Islam but me. Okay. So I implore you, please do it, because if I have to use the technology to do it, you're not going to be able to go back and say, I believed in you all along. Poor people don't have influence. You do. Okay, guys? So step up.